Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Superhero Post show where we talk all things DC, Marvel, and Star Wars and Invincible. So today, as you probably know already by the title I just said, I will be talking about Invincible. I do want to start off by saying I did finish the season last week and I completely loved it. I've watched the season at least 3 times at this point. I am obsessed with Invincible. My birthday is Friday, and I've actually told my girlfriend to get me some Invincible comics. I think she's gotten me some. So that'll tell you right there how obsessed I am with this show. So the title of this episode is what the success of Invincible means. What the success of Invincible means. So last week was the last episode of season 1 of Invincible, and it was insane. I mean, the violence, the dynamic between the father and son, how Omni-Man beat the crap out of Mark and all that stuff. I mean, it is a really, really deep show, and it's deeper than just a kid's show with just violence and action. It really digs deep into like these the characters' ideologies and what they believe in and where they come from, and it is just utterly beautiful. The show is done in such a beautiful way. This is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life, animated, hands down. So I'll be honest here, Invincible did feel like a breath of fresh air for a superhero series, because I mean, yes, Marvel and DC are great. I love them. You guys know that. I talk about it every day. But there have been so many shows with the same characters over and over. I can't tell you how many Batmans there's been, right? Batman, the Brave and the Bold, Batman Beyond, Batman 80-minute series, The Batman. We get Justice League with Batman. We get Superman animated series. We get all these shows. We get all these Batman shows. We get all these Superman shows. We get all of the same stuff. Even with Marvel, we get Avengers. We get Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited. We get all these shows with the same characters. So it was a breath of fresh air to be able to watch something that I don't know a lot about. Like, I don't know his initial story, and it's kind of like a just ride. I'm just going along with the ride, kind of, sort of, and really being surprised about what's going to happen next. So that was also just a breath of fresh air to have. And obviously the show starts off like with a Justice League, and obviously as you guys know, as we know, I do believe that the Justice League, for starting a new franchise, I think doing it the Justice League way is the best way to start, with having a group of heroes kind of like the Justice League. I think that's the best model, and obviously they started the show off with that. But where Invincible really differs themselves is that they don't stick with that. They make Omni-Man kill everyone, which I believe is what sets the show on a different level than any other show I've ever seen in my life. Like, that was really the benefactor, whatever. That was really the factor of what made this show different than any other superhero show that I've seen in my life. And so, also, like, another thing I just love is Mark, aka Invincible's dynamic with all of the other characters, like his mom, Adam, Eve, Amber, Rex, and so many others, is so natural. Like, the way they interact is so relatable. Like, if I was a superhero, I can identify with a Mark, with a Rex, with the Adam, Eve. Like, it was just so natural. Like, it wasn't Joe. It wasn't like, you know, the whole Spider-Man idea or the Superman idea where literally all he does is take off his glasses and now, I can't tell that's Clark Kent. No, it's like real life issues with being a teenager. Like, if I was in high school and I was dealing with being a superhero, I would deal with what Mark from Invincible dealt with. And I'll be honest, Mark does, and maybe a reason why I do feel like Mark is very relatable is because he does remind me of, to an extent, of a Peter Parker, Spider-Man type of character. So, like, maybe that's why I do gravitate over to him a lot more too, because to me, he's really like a Peter Parker that can fly, that has a little bit more swag, and is a lot stronger. But and also, man, I just want to give props to the voice actors for bringing these characters to life. I mean, let's not like J.K. Simmons. I mean, heck of a job. The guy who voiced Mark from Invincible, I'm typing that in right now. The guy that voiced Mark in Invincible, his name is Steve Young. I mean, what a heck of a job he's done voicing this character. I mean, this is one of the greatest voiceovers I've heard. Like, even certain scenes, like with the scene when Omni-Man punched him in the chest in like the first episode and he's gasping, like, it was so real. Like, the voice actors and actresses in this show are amazing. are amazing. They are amazing. They are amazing. And so this show is an adventure. And after every episode, you just want to see more and more and more and more. You just want to see what happened next. And really, like for me at least, watching the show, it was like anybody can go at any moment. Like Adam Eve could go. Ali May could put his hand through her face. Like that's kind of how I felt because it was so violent, and I loved it. But I do believe this show is a statement. And the statement is that it isn't just DC and Marvel anymore. And also with Jupiter Ascending coming to Netflix this Friday, aka my birthday, this is opening up a door to more and more different groups of superheroes that aren't just Justice League, that aren't just Marvel, and I think shows like Invincible are reaching more teenagers and adults with the violence and action, but also, as I said before, how relatable the show actually is. And I think that it's kind of like how I grew into a lot of shows. I think a lot of younger kids are going to grow into the Invincibles, into the Jupiter Ascendings, into these type of shows that are a little bit more mature, into The Boys, like these shows are really for more mature watchers. And I think that making shows like that is what's making Invincible so successful. And I do want to, give Amazon props too, because they're building a really nice IP over there with The Boys and with Invincible. I mean, you can build a whole universe out of those two things right there. And obviously, we all know that Invincible is getting continued for another season, and apparently it's for another 2 seasons. Who knows? This thing might go 10 seasons, and we might be able to build a universe and make a bunch of side shows from just this season. Kind of like how they're doing with Mando, how the Mandalorian was a door to open to the Ahsoka show, to the Rangers, to all these, like, Invincible could be a door to all these different characters and shows. And I even was listening to the writer of Invincible saying that the show might even go past the comics. That's a really big deal, and that means that Amazon really believes in what they're doing. And as I said, the show has reached so many people and is taking the world by storm. Now, I'm going to be honest here, it probably won't be a DC or Marvel type of popular show right now. So to be honest, this thing is just starting. It is really popular, but nothing's going to overtake Marvel with what they're doing with Shang-Chi. We all know that. But it has a lot of potential for the future. And I hope that Amazon keeps Invincible and keeps The Boys and keep these shows away from DC and Marvel, because I would love for Amazon to build their own type of superhero IP with their own stuff, so we get a different different vibes of everything. I wouldn't mind that, and I think that adding these shows really is helping superhero fandom in general. I think it's helping Marvel. I think it's also helping DC, because sometimes we need a break from it, man. We've been getting a lot of content. We coming off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Invincible for me was a breath of fresh air before we got Bad Batch. I finished, and it's I had WandaVision, then I went into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I end up binging Invincible for a weekend. Now I'm watching Bad Batch. It's just nonstop content, but you're going back and forth through the universe. You're just not watching the same thing over and over and over. Then after Bad Batch, I'm pretty sure we get a Loki or so, Loki. I love that the fact that right now we're getting a little bit of everything. There's nothing wrong with that, so I'm happy. And Invincible has showed the world that you do not need Marvel or DC to debut a character. It isn't about where, and I think a lot of comic book creators have to understand this here. It isn't about where it's coming from. It's about, is it a dope character? And Invincible is a dope character, and that's why the show is as big as the way it is, because they have dope characters. They have relatable characters. They have different characters with different powers than just the normal. Omni-Man obviously gives Superman vibes, super strong, man destroy the planet, but everyone else is really different, and it brings a different dynamic to the show. So I mean, I am a big fan of Invincible. I am going to start reading the comics and really getting knowledgeable, and you will be getting more Invincible content from me because I love it dearly. So yeah, guys, if you haven't watched Invincible, you should watch it right now. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening, man. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subs. I'm at 91 subscribers. It's crazy because I started at 12 and you guys have been with me for the past 4 or 5 months that I've been grinding, and I'm almost at 100 subscribers. So thank you guys for that. And please subscribe to the Patreon if you want extra content. And we are adding some more stuff as time goes on. But thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful day. May the force be with you, even though it's not Star Wars, but stay crispy.